Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It's David into Heaven, and we are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, I'm going to be basically giving you my reaction to the whole NASCAR Sprint Cup race that happened today. Now, if you guys do not know what happened in this race, Ryan Blaney was definitely the winner of the Roval race, the first ever Roval race. Now, do I honestly think that the Roval race will continue? No, I do not. I did not like the racing. I did not like the action. Yes, there was a lot of action, but there was also a lot of crashes, and those crashes cost teams money. And some of these teams don't even have that much money. They're not like Hendrick. They're not like Penske. They're not like Roush. They have all that money to be spending on cars. So I think for the Wreckfest, I mean, it's kind of a Talladega, but we all know when you go to Talladega, there's going to be wrecks. When you came to this track, there was really unpredictability, and nobody knows what was going to happen. And for sure, there was a lot of wrecks, and some chase guys, they get taken out. Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, and Denny Hamlin even too. Denny Hamlin was never going to make it. He had already said that he was never going to make it into the chase. But when it came down to the final lap, before I get into the whole thing, I just wanted to clear on something. If it wasn't for NASCAR, and this is going to be my main reasoning right here, if it wasn't for NASCAR and their whole rules on this track, and if it wasn't for this track, Jimmie Johnson would have won that race. Now, I don't know if Jimmie Johnson would have beaten Ryan Blaney to the finish, but he definitely would still be in the chase. Apparently, Jimmie Johnson lost a tiebreaker with Kyle Larson and Eric Almirola. Now, I feel so sorry for Jimmie Johnson because I don't support Jimmie Johnson, but I do like Jimmie Johnson, and he's a 7-time champion. And for a 7-time champion to be basically, I don't want to say screwed out of a chance because that's a bad word to use, but cheated out of a chance to win a championship just because he followed the rules in NASCAR, it just makes me angry. And after I saw that it was announced that Jimmie Johnson was knocked out because of that, I was literally honestly so angry right now. But I mean, I'm better right now, funny enough. But with the whole Jimmie Johnson situation, Jimmie Johnson will definitely bounce back. And if he actually, I'm going to be really, really frustrated if Jimmie Johnson actually does bounce back and wins Dover coming up. But the main reason for this, guys, is because, I'm really going to be frustrated if Jimmie Johnson actually does bounce back and wins Dover. Because this guy absolutely deserves to have a shot at the championship this year. Throughout what this team has been through, with Hendrick Motorsports doing terrible besides Chase Elliott winning, Jimmie Johnson 100% definitely deserves that. And to be honest, if he didn't actually technically cut the corner, because when he was going through the corner, he was already turned around. And if he's spinning out, he can't control that. And if he's spinning out, he can't control it, taking out Martin Truex Jr., so he did apologize for that also. But I don't feel like he did it on purpose because he was backwards. And if he goes backwards through the corner, I don't feel like that's cutting the corner, so I feel like Jimmie Johnson shouldn't have broke and should have just kept on going. And if NASCAR gave him a penalty, then that would have been unfair of NASCAR to do that. But that's the whole Jimmie Johnson situation. That's my whole opinion about that. But Kyle Larson is lucky. Eric Almirola are lucky. Because if Jimmie Johnson hadn't done that, if Jimmie Johnson seriously hadn't done that, Kyle Larson would have been eliminated from the championship, from the chase. Because if Jimmie Johnson had come second with Martin Truex Jr. winning, Kyle Larson would have missed out by 1 point. And to be honest, I feel like if any of them need to be in the next round of the chase, it has to be either Jimmie Johnson or Kyle Larson. Eric Almirola doesn't seem to be finishing in the top 10 week in and week out, which I think is going to determine like whether he makes it to the final round. And I don't think he would have ever made to the final round. But that's it with the whole Jimmie Johnson situation. The whole race was most of the race was non-stop crash fest. I mean, with the whole restart with like 6 laps to go, and Brad Keselowski losing, breaking so late, and then he ends up going straight into the wall that collects like Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Eric Almirola, rolled out a whole bunch of cars. That set up the restart, and Jimmy Johnson did actually get a very good restart, but it just wasn't enough. And then when he came to the corner, he kind of broke himself and was spinning, and then hit Martin Truex Jr., and that's how Ryan Blaney ended up going past him. Jimmy Johnson ended up finishing 8th. Truex ended up finishing 14th. But throughout the race, it was just basically dominated by 2 people. Kyle Larson, if I'm right, won the first stage, and then Ryan Blaney won the second stage. So Ryan Blaney was definitely going to have a shot to win the race, considering he won the second stage. Now, with the wrecks that happened, if they did not move that chicane that everybody was hitting, there would have been a lot more wrecks. Because in the final practice, about a good 5 cars hit that thing, and they hit it good. Like, some of these cars were like torn up, and that chicane caused so many problems during qualifying. They moved it, but basically and simple, this race was non-stop chaos. And to be honest, I honestly want to say it was one of the most exciting races I've seen in NASCAR history. And even though I don't think it's gonna keep on going in next year, they can definitely bring it back. They just have to change. They have a chance of bringing it back. They just have to change some things with the whole Roval and the way the course is laid out. Because I feel like if they fix that chicane a little bit more, the corner coming into turn number 1, then that'll be completely fine, and that's a perfect way to That's the perfect way to fix it. But anyway, guys, that's my reaction to this race. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys later tomorrow talking about the Falcons and their defense. Peace.